Okay, so let me set the stage for this video. Basically, you come to United States, you graduate regardless of bachelor's or master's. If your program is under STEM category, you have 3 years of OPT, 36 months, and in that 36 months, you have to apply for H1-B visa. You get 3 chances, and after 3 chances, if you still don't get H1-B visa, then you have to go back to India or do something else. Now that's what we're going to talk about. What is that something else? And my friend Kunal, we and Kunal studied together in Chico State computer science, and now he's working as a Salesforce developer. We made a separate video on his journey to Salesforce as a tool and a developer, and we'll talk about it in the separate video. But he was on this third chance for H1B visa. He didn't want to take any chances, so he went another route of applying to PR, green card or permanent resident for Canada, and he has his Canada resident, a PR and green card, and it took him 6 to 9 months. He explains the whole process. He explains the cost, documents, what exactly you need to know, and the whole process. So I'm super excited for you to learn this. So if you are in that H1B worry, this is another hope which my friend is going to talk about, and hopefully this will inspire you, motivate you. So keep watching this whole video. I hope it helps you. And Kunal, if you're watching this, thank you so much for doing this. I know this means a lot to me, and I know this will help a lot of my people who are watching this video. So keep watching this whole video. So thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate. I know a lot of my viewers who are watching this are kind of in this, either coming to United States or are in United States, and they always worry about H1B, and it's a thing where everyone worries about it. And you came up with this backup plan, which a lot of people don't know or not aware of. And there are information. And when you reached out to me, I was super impressed and actually very surprised that this is something you want to talk and help a lot of students. I think this is going to help a lot of people. So thank you, and I really appreciate for doing this.
Absolutely. I felt like it's time to kind of give back to the people that I like, the place where I come from, and help the people that that helped me get to the point where I am right now. Because I mean, the journey is alone, but you are not on the top, or you cannot get anywhere without the help of the people that back you up. So. Well, I mean, I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah.
And thanks for having me over.
Yeah, thank you. So let's start with a quick short intro. I already talked about you, but I want you to give your intro. Like, when did this happen, and when did you come to the United States? What did you do? What are you doing? And just short intro.
So I came just the same year as you. We came together, which was amazing. And it was like 70 of us, right? It was like... It was weird that 70 Indian people just moved from India all the way to Chico and just started living together. That's actually where it started, and I struggled a lot for the first couple of semesters because from a mediocre household, in India we don't work as much. When you're coming over here, you need to just automatically figure out how to make money. You're just working, try to get a job, and then try to make ends meet. And most people have a lot of bank loans as well, so they have a lot of stress on their heads. And plus, they're like here with a different language. You don't understand what the professor is saying, because it took me like a semester to just understand what he's saying. Because we talk a very different language in India. We barely speak in English. Like our teachers, we didn't do that stuff. So I came here, did my master's, then I tried to figure out a way to get a job. Then I moved to Sacramento. Then this whole H1 thing came to the picture. It was always on the picture, but like at that time, my battle was to
actually just graduate and then get a job.
It was like a very bumpy ride.
It is.
You've been a part of it with me. We actually did all the semesters together, and we graduated together. So you've been, a very important part of that journey with me. So for the most part, that's when it kind of started, and it's always been a fear, Oh my God, you just get 3 tries. Are you going to get picked in the lottery? It's always been that that fear that that are you going to stay, or are you going to go back? So that's the thing that I was like, I don't want this fear.
Right. Yeah. So let me go back a little bit. You did your master's in computer science, obviously, with me, and then you graduated in 2016 with me. And now it's 2019, so this is your third year.
This is my third year.
So did you applied for H1? Your company applied for H1-B twice and never got picked up. What was the story?
So the first job that I got, that was in April. So I missed my chance for
the first year.
For a lot of people who think that like sometimes you just need a little extra push. So what my employer at the time, when I started in that company, they actually said that they're not going to file my H1 even next year. But I was so desperate that I need a job that I was like, we'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
Let's get started to work. Let me make some money first, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then just because I was able to build this relationship with my boss at the time, he helped me out with the second company.
Nice.
The next year I applied, I didn't get accepted. So I was like terrified. I was like, I just have one more shot, and if I don't get it, I have to go back.
Then what? Yeah.
And then it hit me really fast because the same year, actually last year, one of our employees actually did go back to India. There's a company that I currently work with.
Wow.
He actually did go back to India, which was like shocking because like nobody ever goes back. Like I've heard things that once you come here, you never go back.
Yeah.
But he did.
Yeah.
And that was like an eye opener, and I was like, wow. And so I thought for a little bit, I was like, it's okay. Like the company is helping him out still. He's still our employee. He's working from there. They applied for his H1 and everything. But the problem is when you're all the way in India, the H1 process is a lot different than what you are when you're here.
Right.
Because when you're in India, you have to file an H1 just like any other person who is in India.
Yeah. So
I didn't want to go through that process, and I always had this in my mind that I'm not gonna go on my H1. So that's kind of like a backstory.
Yeah. So that's majority of people go through that, and I think there's like 300,000. I don't know the numbers, but more than like 100,000 students apply application for H1B, and only 65,000 gets picked up.
Exactly.
So not everyone is gonna get picked up, and you get only 3 chances. And if that is also if you're in that STEM category.
In the STEM category,
If you're not, then you only have 1 chance, and if you miss that, then you gotta figure it out. What's the next?
Exactly, and plus you have spent so much money, you've invested so much time.
Right.
You've pretty much, if you're living here for like 4 or 5 years, you've pretty much lived your youth. Because majority of the people who come here for your master's, they're like 22, 23.
Yeah.
That's when you start to like, you get your master's. That's when you start to like kind of like set up your life. You're thinking about your future.
Yeah. So how did you start thinking about Canada? Like where did that thought come from?
So my best friend from India, he actually moved to Canada last year. So I took a trip there. So I went to Montreal. I love the city. I love the people. They're so amazing. They're so nice. They're like always smiling, always saying hi. I mean, saying hi is just a common thing, but they're always so willing to help you out, talk to you, be friendly. So I was like, it's not a bad city. Like I like Montreal. The weather's kind of harsh, because it's going to be like snowing and like freezing all the time. But for the most part, like the culture, the people, and how liberal they are. Like there are no hate crimes. It's so safe there. So I figured like it wouldn't hurt if I could see what the process is, even if I fit in.
Right.
So I started to look into it, and it was only until after last year, July, when I came back from Canada, that I started looking into it. And gradually I got into the process, and here we are sitting here talking about it.
Right. Yeah, no, that's great. So that you went for a trip, and then that's when it clicked you that you want to apply for that. I think that's a great choice. I've heard great things about it, and also if you're in Canada, you can still visit US so many times.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about the process itself. Like you figured it out that, okay, let's give it a shot. You want to apply for Canada PR. Is that PR?
Yes, PR, yes, we can call PR.
Okay. And how's the process and how long does it take? What's the first step if someone wants to start doing that?
Absolutely. So the best thing is that a lot of people in India think that they need to go to a consultant, a helper, or someone who will guide them. That's actually not true. You don't really need to.
Yeah.
Why spend so much money, give it away to someone when you can do everything online today? But there's so much information available on the internet that you don't really need to go to anyone else. So I started looking it up, and fortunately, the official government website of Canada for these immigration laws, it's very, very clear of things that you can do and the things that you cannot do. So just follow those processes. So the best way would be if one person want to go and see if they're eligible for Canada, what they would want to do is go to cic.gov, and that's where they can find all the information. There's actually a calculator that you can fill in your information. You don't even have to give your name or anything. Just fill out a bunch of questions like your age, like your master's degree or your education,
and work experience.
Your work experience.
And that's because Canada's PR system is based on points?
Yes.
Right.
So it's a 1,200 point total.
Okay.
Every 15 days they do a draw. So for example, today you think that I want to apply for Canada. So what you will do is you will go check your score on the website. It's a very simple process.
Right.
Then after that, what you do is you see what you have to take a couple of English exams. Doesn't matter what country you come from, you have to take either IELTS or TOEFL. I think IELTS, yes. Canada only takes IELTS.
Okay. You still have to give IELTS. It's not for education. That's how they judge your score, or it improves your score. Is that why you give IELTS, or what's the purpose of giving that exam?
It's a requirement, just like every other requirement. It's a requirement, and it actually helps you out because it helps you improve your scores. One thing, it's a requirement, you have to get it. Okay. Second, it helps you if you're trying to get your score up, if you're trying to make this process a lot easier for you, I would say work hard in your IELTS, get that score up. My IELTS was 9 in listening, just if anybody is curious, and I gave it 3 times, and I'm not ashamed of it.
No, that's fine. Yep.
I mean, that was for me to do, so I had to do it. My speaking was 9, which is the top is 9. Right. Speaking was 9, my listening was 9, my reading was 8, my writing was 7. So overall, I had a 8.5 bands total out of 9. Yeah. Which is
great.
Kind of good.
That's a great score. Yeah.
So that helped me a lot because my initial I submitted 2 profiles. Right. The first profile I submitted, my score was around 413, and I knew that this is not going to help. It's not going to cut it. Because at that time the cutoff was 430.
Oh, okay.
Because like I said, every 15 minutes every 15 days they do rounds. Yeah. Right. So in those rounds, whatever the minimum cutoff is out of 1,200, usually it's somewhere around 430 to 450 minimum.
Got it.
And they give all that information, so you can actually go to CIC's website and do Canada Express entry. Rounds of invitation. Just Google this line and you'll be able to find all the information actually to go like few years back, all around. So all that data is always available.
Right. So what happened? So you said you had 413 in your first profile. What happened after you gave IELTS? Did your score bump up?
It went to 452.
Nice. Okay. So what happens once you get your score into that cutoff range? What's the next step?
Yes. So once you get to a good score, once you think that 435, 430, you're flying around that, it's a good place to be, right? After that, what you do is you fill out a profile. So you fill out that profile.
Right.
Meanwhile, you have to work really proactively. When you have so many legal obligations because you're trying to be a permanent resident of a country, you have to make sure that all of your documents are correct.
Correct, and there's no error and all of that. Yeah.
Because you're doing it on your own. You don't have any guidance. So what I did was, there are a couple things for people who live in US and are trying to get there. There's a thing called PCC, which is the Police Clearance Certificate. So you have to get that for every country you've lived more than 6 months. So that's something that you should already start getting. You should start collecting, because those are the documents that you will need, and those are the documents that takes most time. Because if you're based in the US, then you have to find an embassy that you can go to, bring all your documents to them, and it takes like a month's time to get that. And if you're in India, I'm not sure how long it's going to take in India, but it's going to be like a month or two process. Then another thing that people should do is get their WES evaluation. WES means World Education Services. What they do is you have to send them your transcripts. And
your
then masters for people in India, bachelors or whatever degree you have, the highest. Just the highest. Only get your master's evaluated or your highest education evaluated. That's the important. That's all they care about. They don't care about your bachelor's. They don't care about your high school. That all information comes in later. They will ask it, but they don't need proofs for that. You only need proofs for the things that you are calculating points for. And this is very important. It's not hard. It's very straightforward.
Got it.
Whatever's written on the website, follow that, believe that. It's going to be easy.
For the most part, you don't really need to have.
So would you say from anywhere from 6 to 12 months, like a...
Yeah, definitely a year. Definitely a year, because it depends on how much IELTS you have, how much time you take IELTS for, and then how long you took for your documents to get there, how long the process before, let's say you are flying around 4:30 and then the cutoff's not coming down from 4:35, then it's going to be a little extra time, you know. So these factors are important. And then let's say 4 to 5 months is the processing time, easy. 6 months is the longest it's going to take, but usually it comes down to 3-4 months if everything is smooth. But that's just the processing time. So if you want to do it overall, I would say keep like a 1 year buffer. So let's say in the US, if you're talking, let's say today I know that a year from now my visa is going to be expired and I cannot stay in the US. I'd start that process now. I'd make sure that I have some buffer in case anything goes wrong. Me personally, I had a buffer to apply twice.
I see.
I had a buffer for twice. So even now, if I start my process, I could apply and then get my PR before my US visa expired. So you have to be very proactive if you want.
Let's talk about the expenses. Like, how much did it cost for the entire process? Like, what was the cost look like?
So I did it in US dollars, right? So I can give you like a rough estimation of what US dollars look like for me. But it depends upon what country you're applying for, because like you can apply from any country, India, Canada, or not Canada, but India,
any
Pakistan, whatnot, right? So I would say for rough estimate, I want to go with, I'll go somewhere between $2,000 to $2,500 or $3,000. That's a good estimate, because for PCC, for WES evaluation, for the fees, because the fees is around $1,500, $1,700, something like that, which is half refundable, because if in case you miss a document or you're, let's say after 90 days, because they give you like a time frame that you have to submit your documents after you get the ITA, and then we'll tell them what ITA is. So that 90 days, if you're not able to submit your documents, they'll give you half of the money back, and you can apply again.
So that's also 2,000 to 2,500, somewhere around that time. So how do you know once you're done with all this process, like how do you know that it's approved? Like what does from end to end look like?
Absolutely. So let's say you have everything ready, you fill out the form first. Let's say for me, let's take my example. I filled out the form. My score was 453, which I knew that it's under the cutoff range. So I'm gonna get the ITA. ITA is the invitation of application.
Got it.
Which means that Canada invites you to apply for the permanent residency. You don't apply until they invite you.
Oh, nice.
So what they do is they let you fill out a form, and every 15 days, whatever applications they get, initial applications, I wouldn't say application, initial applications they get, it's just a form that anybody can fill out, and they don't require any document at that time. So let's say you fill out a form, your score is 452 and the cutoff's 430, you will get an ITA in your CIC account in 15 days. Once you get an ITA, then that's when the clock ticks. Then you have a 90-day period to prove that everything you said in your initial application is correct. So you will have to put in all the documents in, you have to fill out, I think it's a 12-page form that you have to fill out online. Everything is very smooth. They give you all these little pointers at every step with everything they need.
Okay.
For the most part, I never even go out online and checked on the forums what they're saying. It was very...
It's self-explanatory.
It is self-explanatory. Like you read that, okay, they need a picture that is in this shape, I will get a picture that is in this shape. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Very straightforward.
Yeah.
They tell you, okay, you just need your highest evaluated, you get your highest evaluated. Don't think too much.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go out and start reading, because if you start doing that, then you're just gonna very confused. Yeah. So you get the ITA 15 days after. Then let's say it takes you 20 days. It took me like 15-20 days to fill out, like, you know, because I had to do it carefully. So it took me 15-20 days to gather all my documents, scan everything, because you don't have to send them anything. You just have to scan every document that you have. So you scan everything, you upload every document, and then you hit submit, and then you pay. And I would recommend paying the fees at that time instead of waiting, because they let you, if you don't have money at that point, you can pay the fees later. But I would recommend that if you have extra cash lying around, I would pay that money at the application fees. Because what happens is, let's say you didn't pay, then all of the process will go through, then they'll make you wait until you pay for the application, then it just delays the process a little bit. So you paid, and then after that, the process starts. So after that, they ask you to get a medical done. So you have to set an appointment, which is also important. So you should get that right away. You should get that appointment also, doctor's appointment, because they will do lots of tests. They do HIV tests. They do all kinds of like major disease tests. Yeah. Just so that make sure that you're not, because Canada has free medical. So let's say a lot of they have free medical. So what they do is, some people just go there to get that free medical. So they don't want that. Right. In order to cut that off, they have these medical tests to make sure that you don't have any baggage. So that the doctor's appointment in the US, it took a while. It took like 2 weeks before I could get the appointment. So that is also another part. So you get that done, then you just have to sit and wait. Then you just keep checking for that that one email that you get. Right. And it's that email is called the request for passport. That is when you know that that's the sign. That's when you know, okay, this is the magical email that I've been waiting for. And this is why I worked hard for. Right. So when I got that email on a Wednesday at 3 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, nice.
So I woke up and I was like, oh, okay.
It's a relief.
This is good. Yeah. This is a good start of my day, you know? Yeah. 3 a.m. I saw, and I was very excited. I got up, I got my paperwork done.
So what's that email? Like, what is it?
So that email says, congratulations, you have reached the last step of the application process. We would like to receive your passport, and we will proceed with the application. They don't give away that you have been a green card, but they just tell you that we need your passport. But if they need your passport,
that basically is a sign.
That means that yes, you are very close of being a permanent resident of Canada. So once you get that email, you have to send your photograph, then your passport, and I think that's it. Yeah, your photographs and your passport, and then and also a package that will be used when they send your passport back. So you have to send a prepaid package.
Got it.
With the passport, so that they don't have to deal with any kind of package. They just send it over to you. And I did it like one day. Yeah. Because it's like a passport. Like you know, you're in a different country. It was important. So I sent it by passport. They returned that with a document called the COPR. That is Confirmation of Permanent Residency. It's a 2-page document, and it's like a receipt. One is for you, and one is for the immigration officer. So when you get that with the visa on your passport, that visa is valid for 1 year, and that 1 year starts from the day you submit your application. So once you do receive your passport, you get around 6 months, because once you submit your application, it takes about 6 months, and then they give you another 6 months to visit Canada once.
Oh, okay.
So you have to come to Canada and accept your permanent residency. because you're not a permanent resident until you accept it. And the way you accept it is by crossing the borders. So once you get the COPR, and then on your passport you get 1 year's visa. With that visa, you can only enter Canada once. So you go to Canada, you show them their paperwork, they stamp it. Once they stamp it, they ask you for a few details. That's when you know that you're a permanent resident of Canada.
Nice. That's awesome. No, that's I think it's gonna be very helpful for a lot of viewers who are watching this, and I think we should leave it here and see what audience thinks, and if they want more detail, we can make more elaborate video on the process and the details about this whole thing. But I think this is very helpful for people to know. If H1-B visa fails, then Canada is a backup plan, like which is yours, and they can use this plan if they want to. And I think that's a great. I learned a lot of new things, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers are gonna learn new things. I really appreciate. Is there any advice would you like to give people who are watching this, or students, or anybody?
I would just say that be on top of things. You know, you just have to be proactive, have confidence in yourself. There's always a way out. You know, you just need to go out there, find it. Right. You know, and if you can find it, well, you're gonna have a wonderful life. You know.
Awesome. And I have a signature sign off in all my videos I do. I say keep smiling and keep hustling. So maybe you should end with that. Do you want to say that to
Absolutely. Keep smiling and keep hustling. Always hustle. It's very important.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.